banquet will begin in 2 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? All right, so I'm going to ask you guys to please stand, show respect for the arrival of the official party, the entry of the senior class, and the posting of the colors. Ladies and gentlemen, the class of 2019. Please remain standing for the forming of the saber arch and the calling of their names. Cadet Jordan Archer. Cadet Aiden Potter Chalago. Cadets Andrea Staffney and Matthew Barnhart. Cadet Joni Brewer. Cadet Ariana Dobbs and her date Ethan Hutchins. Cadets Brecken Zortman and Cheyenne Pierce. Cadet Nick Jones. Cadet David Heimberg. Cadet Joshua Johnson. Cadet Tanner Marshall and his date Bree Moody. Please remain standing for the posting of the colors. may be seated. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Cadet Major Liam Marsh, Joplin JROTC Battalion S3, and the Master of Ceremonies for this evening's events. Welcome to the 100th Anniversary Banquet of the Joplin JROTC program. Let me begin by introducing you to our official party. We are honored to welcome our guest of honor, Sergeant Major Daniel A. Daly, the Mayor of Joplin, Mayor Gary Shaw, the Assistant Adjutant General of the State of Missouri, Brigadier General William Ward, the Superintendent of the Joplin School District, Dr. Melinda Moss, the Command Sergeant Major of the State of Missouri, Command Sergeant Major Cannon John and his wife, Miss Angela John, the Command Sergeant Major of the Maneuver Support Center of Excellence at Fort Leonard Wood, Command Sergeant Major James Breckenridge, the Joplin High School Senior Army Instructor, Lieutenant Colonel Joshua Wrights, and his wife, Miss Tanya Wrights, the Joplin High School Army Instructor, First Sergeant Banks, and his wife, Mrs. Kelly Banks, and joining us later, United States Senator Roy Blunt. Before we recognize some of our distinguished guests, I would also like to welcome Lieutenant Colonel Joshua Wrights to speak.
Thank you, Liam. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all for being here tonight, for showing your support for this program and what it's meant to each of you personally, to your families, and to this community. While this program has touched each of us in very different ways, we're here tonight to celebrate as one body. While this program has existed and flourished under the roofs of several different buildings, sometimes on separate campuses, sometimes with intense rivalry, it has nevertheless endured over the past 100 years as Joplin's JROTC program. For this reason, we celebrate. No program exists on its own, but rather exists for the students, for our community. Let us remember that tonight. Let us remember those who walk before us and pray for those who will follow us. Let us celebrate together tonight in unity.
All right, thank you very much, sir. At this time, I would like to recognize several of our distinguished alumni here tonight. To highlight, our oldest graduate hails from the class of 1947, Mr. Henry Robertson. Our senior female graduate is Mary Jane Hughes Briggs from the class of 1972. First female battalion commander, the late Marcia Atwood of 1979, had planned to be here. Sadly, she recently passed away. However, her daughter Stormy Atwood is here in her place. And finally, the graduate who traveled the furthest to be here, Dr. Bradley Carter of Newport, Rhode Island. We would also like to honor previous instructors who are either present here tonight or have family members present. After the instructor or their family stands, I will ask that their students stand as well. Major James Osborne and his wife. Any students of his, please stand. family of the late Chief Charles Nance. Family and students, please stand. The family of the late Lieutenant Colonel Paul Lucas, with his students and wife, please stand. Sergeant First Class Forrest Story and his family, with his students, please stand as well. The family of the late Sergeant First Class Don Bowling, with his students, please stand. Finally, the family of the late Master Sergeant Robert Barker, teaching at Parkwood, Memorial, and Joplin High School. Would you please stand? All right, let's give one last round of applause to thank these men who have made such a difference in this community and program. All right, I'm now going to honor alumni who have served in our nation's armed forces. Would veterans of the Army please stand up? Would veterans of the Navy please stand up? Marine Corps veterans, please stand up. Would our Air Force veterans please stand? If there are any veterans of the Coast Guard, please stand at this time. Would everyone please stand for the invocation and remain standing for this evening's toast by Chaplain Floyd.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Would you please join me in a word of prayer? Lord Almighty, we are thankful for your abundant mercy and grace in bringing us together this evening for this time of remembrance and fellowship and anticipation for the years to come. 100 years ago, on the heels of a terrible war, you led men and women at Joplin High School to begin and support the program that we are celebrating here tonight. And for that, we are truly thankful. And every year since then, you have used this program to instruct, encourage, and strengthen literal generations of young men and women for service to their school, their families, their communities, their state, and their nation. You've blessed them with friends and mentors, and have used those relationships to provide wisdom, guidance, and a clear sense of purpose in life. And tonight, Lord, as we celebrate those memories and the lives that have been transformed through the Joplin High School JROTC program, we ask that you would continue to do the same and even more for the generations yet to come. In your holy name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please charge your glasses for the toast.
Ladies and gentlemen, I propose a toast to the President of the United States.
President.
Ladies and gentlemen, I propose a toast to the United States Army. To the Army. Ladies and gentlemen, I propose a toast to the U.S. Army Cadet Command.
Eagle Battalion, I propose a toast to our guests.
Ladies and gentlemen, please ensure your glasses are charged with water for the fallen comrade toast.
So I've asked to do this, have this honor to do this remembrance, and I want you to think about this for a second. This is not an empty thing that we're doing here. This represents a lot to a lot of us. So I'd like you to listen to this and reflect upon the words that I say. As you enter the dining room this evening, you may have noticed a small table in a place of honor to my right. It is set for one military member to represent the military services. This table is our way of recognizing the members of our profession of arms who are absent from our midst. The table is small, symbolizing the frailty of one prisoner who is alone against his oppressors. The tablecloth is white, symbolizing the purity of their motives in answering our nation's call. The chair is empty. They are missing. The napkin is black, the American color for mourning. The single red rose reminds us of hearts of loved ones it is tied with a yellow ribbon to symbolize the everlasting hope for a joyous reunion with those yet unaccounted for. A single candle flame represents an eternal flame for their sacrifices. The slice of lemon on the breastplate reminds us of their bitter fate. There is also salt, symbolic of the tears endured by the missing and their loved ones. The Bible represents the strength gained through faith to sustain those lost from our country. Founded as one nation under God. The wine glass is inverted. Our distinguished comrades cannot toast us this night or join in our festivities. Honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, members of the armed forces, brothers and sisters in arms, please to our comrades killed in action, missing in action, or prisoners of war,
This concludes our fallen comrade observance. We have a table set to my left, your right. Okay, that's wrong. The table is actually out here by the rock wall, where I encourage you can leave a note during dinner to honor instructors, classmates, friends, and family who are no longer with us. Please be seated and enjoy your meals.